the strongest and the most thrilling inspiration that I've gotten comes from the students of Sciences Po.
À un moment où les universités se trouvent sous pression, y compris dans des démocraties consolidées, nous comptons sur Sciences Po pour porter les débats sur le changement climatique.
People often try to reassure themselves that perpetrators, such as the ISIS extremists, must have been monsters. Yes, they were monsters. But the sad truth is that ISIS members were never simply just a band of criminals. They were doctors, teachers, engineers.
Le droit, c'est pas seulement une technique, c'est aussi des grands principes et il faut savoir les défendre et il faut savoir revenir parfois aux principes.
C'est de la science polyphonique. Sciences Po polyphonique.
J'ai 8 ans quand mon premier combat contre moi-même éclate. Face au vide, 2 adversaires s'affrontent en moi. L'un est brûlant, impatient, fort, son nom c'est Ego.
Quand on écrit, il ne faut jamais voir les œuvres finies. C'est votre tombeau, le tombeau de votre talent. Ce qu'il faut voir, c'est l'heure qui commence.
Athéniens, je suis comme vous. J'ai conscience que la cité a besoin de ces philosophes.
Je ne veux pas que les gens qui s'installent dans un théâtre, que je trouve ça déjà miraculeux, ou devant n'importe lequel de mes spectacles, puissent se sentir renvoyés à leur ignorance.
Sometimes I think that we misunderstand each other because we haven't really heard each other.
Bonsoir. Good evening. Dear Dean Arantxa Gonzalez, dear distinguished guests, families, and friends of our graduating class, dear PSIA faculty, colleagues, and friends, bienvenue à toutes et à tous. Welcome, one and all, to the 2025 graduation ceremony of Sciences Po's Paris School of International Affairs. My name's Mark Maloney. I'm the Vice Dean of PSIA, and it's my great honor to serve as your Master of Ceremony this evening. Let me start by acknowledging this fabulous performance of Les Trompettes de 27, Sciences Po's equivalent of a marching band who really got things going. Let me also say a brief word about this majestic building and its very comfortable seats, which are going to come in handy. Le Grand Rex, which is a fitting venue to present the graduates of PSIA. Dear graduates, dear class of 2025, the day you've worked so incredibly hard for is finally here. Your dean, members of the faculty, and your academic team are all here to confirm it. Your family and your loved ones are here to witness it. Congratulations, félicitations, you are about to graduate from Sciences Po and its Paris School of International Affairs. we're acutely aware that there is a wonderful and rich diversity amongst all of you gathered in this great hall. Diversity of backgrounds, diversity of perspectives, and diversity of views. You, PSIA graduates, know and have experienced this throughout your time with us, in your classrooms, at our events, and in other various activities that you've engaged with. That there are so many diverse views should not be a surprise to anyone, given the range of conflicts that we see across the world today. And whilst we celebrate and welcome this diversity, we ask you politely, but firmly, to ensure that this ceremony is one of those rare moments that unites all of us. A ceremony where we celebrate your common success of having overcome a variety of challenges and, through hard work and perseverance, of having satisfied the requirements of your PSIA degree. It's a ceremony where we ask you to put tolerance, respect above all, and where we ask you to avoid division or any type of divisive message. So if you absolutely feel the need to express solidarity with a cause dear to you, please do so as discreetly as possible. Put your hand on your heart, a hand in the air, but please, let's keep it discreet. Over the course of this ceremony, nearly 700 graduates, you, will pass across this stage, presented individually according to your degree specialization. Between these presentations, we'll share with you a few short videos. You'll hear from 2 representatives of the graduating class. There will be a distinguished guest of honor who will be introduced a little bit later and who will deliver a keynote speech. All in all, the ceremony will last about 3 hours, hence the comfy seats. And it will be followed by a cocktail reception at Sciences Po's campus, and we'll tell you a little bit more about that later on. So what do you say, graduates? Shall we get this party started? So, I can see that our first sets of graduates are already lined up, keen to come across the stage, but we're not going to start with them just yet. But I want to see if everyone else is here. So, are there students from the Master of International Security in the house? Ah, wow, fantastic. And how about those in international governance and diplomacy? Oh, God. And we have students, of course, in environmental policy. Voila. International energy. Oh. International economic policy. And don't worry, international development, I didn't forget you. Are you here? Nor did I forget our one-year students, the MAGs. Are they here? Voila. I think I got everyone. So we'll see. If I missed you, you tell me later. Anyways, now that the room is nice and warm, let me welcome to the stage your dean, Arantxa Gonzalez.
Hey, dear class of 2025, I really can hear this roaring excitement. Yes, you've made it to the finish line. Let me first take a moment to thank families and friends. Those that have accompanied here, that have come here and accompanying you, but also those that are watching with trepidation, cheering from home to all of you. They are proud, and so are we. Merci aux familles et amis ici présents. Gracias a todas esas familias y amigos aquí presentes para aplaudir a nuestros estudiantes. Please give your families and friends a big applause. This is no doubt a very proud moment for you. But let me tell you, it's also a very proud moment for us. We know that you've been through good days and through bad moments, but I think you've always been able to count on the committed faculty, on academic advisors, on assistants, on Mark, and on the entire PSIA team, actually on the entire Sciences Po family. From all of us, big congratulations to you. There's going to be a lot of applauses today, so save some. At the beginning of your master, Italian astronaut Samantha Cristoforetti explained how after a few months at the International Space Station, space became her home. After so many months at Sciences Po, this institution has also become your home. At home, you have built new bonds. At home, you have made new friends, built relationships that will carry you through your lives. You have learned that together we rise. You have enjoyed learning and practicing with many of the world's most renowned professors and experts. You've opened your minds to different, sometimes diametrically opposed points of view. You have practiced the art of inquiry. You have learned to debate with conviction, but also with respect for others. You have witnessed the power of education and the power of academic freedom to contribute to the common good. Pluralism, excellence, rigor, respect are the bedrocks of Sciences Po. But let's face it, there have also been difficult moments, moments when we were challenged to uphold those principles, when we could not bear the horrors of inhumanity on Sudanese, on Israelis, on Palestinians, on Ukrainians, and on so many more around the world. When we saw academic freedom challenged, when we found it difficult to dialogue with respect. But I am convinced that we have all come out stronger from this experience. We have, and I hope you have too. As this ceremony starts, I'm reassured that your journey began building rockets with marshmallows and toothpicks, but that by now you are prepared to be builders of the new international order taking shape. And I'm saying this because at least your rockets did not explode in mid-air before reaching orbit, like those of Elon Musk. So we are on a good path. So, without further ado, let the moment you have been waiting for begin. Graduates, the ceremony starts now.
So before I invite the platform party to join me on stage to receive the first of what will be 4 groups of graduates, let me explain how things are going to work. I realize this will come as a little bit of a disappointment to some of you, but I need to tell you straightforwardly that there's no mysterious magical power on this stage. There's no mysterious magical power in any people who are going to come on this stage today that's going to transform you from students into graduates. Those mysterious powers actually took place 10 days ago in the graduation jury, which was so ably organized by Myriam Dubois-Moncachi, who I'm delighted to say is present here in the front row, both in her capacity as the Directrice de Scolarité et de la Réussite étudiante, but also as a proud mother of a PSIA graduate. So each graduate will be called up on stage individually in alphabetical order. Parents take note so you can find when your son or daughter will come across the stage. They'll be called by their academic advisor or their academic assistant. As you can see, those on the left and the right are already wearing their Sciences Po graduation scarves. So when they come up on stage, they'll be welcomed on one side by the dean, who's already here, as you will see, and on the other side by a distinguished member of the PSIA faculty, who will give them what's known as a graduation card, or as Sciences Po calls it, a satisfecit, before having their photo taken together on either side. Let me also say, we present students according to the program that they did with us at PSIA, and mixed in those degree programs are students who did dual degree programs with other universities. They spent a year with us and a year with one of our 10 international partners, or with one of our 4 French partners. In addition, you'll hear that some students will have an extra few words, Latin words, next to their name. And this distinguishes those who received honors. And how the honors works is that summa cum laude is for the first 2% of each program, and the next 10% are cum laude. So you'll hear those as acknowledged, and of course, typically, everyone gets a loud applause. They get a slightly louder applause because obviously they've done so well. So, without further ado, we are now ready. I'm going to call to the stage the platform party for the Masters in Human Rights and Humanitarian Action. So, let me invite Anastasia Akputinka, who's the academic advisor, Lee Demarfond, who's the academic assistant, and Antoine Bernard, who's the co-director, co-scientific director of the master's program, and he's also the director for advocacy and strategic litigation at Reporters Sans Frontières. There you go. Other side. T'es là.
Mais attends, je te fais la bise.
Tiens-toi.
Voilà.
Tiens-toi. OK. Allez.
Dilnoza Abdieva.
Estelle Allemand.
Inès Atoubi.
Aya Bad.
Anna Baldi.
Dorothée Bergman.
Marianne Bonnet, cum laude.
Blandine Bonneville.
Chloé Breton.
Comme Bruno.
Florencia Campuzano.
Valentina Gantor Lesme.
Haoxing Clarion Chan.
Nathan Charles.
Maureen Chauvry.
Claudia Cornado Munaki.
Rosa Chebi.
Hermine Thiard de Boissal.
Ariane Dalma.
Alicia Tashkenko.
Flora Davis, cum laude.
Tommaso de Bellil.
Emma de Monti.
Coralie de Degevenne.
Naïs Despres.
Manon Derpas.
Zoé Détresse.
Jérôme Diamant.
Clémentine Dubin.
Julia Dilla cum laude.
Alice Écarlate.
Fatima Fabulé.
Cham Fares.
Prina Fernandez.
Océane Blake. Léa Francistegui.
Bertha Flore Arrigo.
Paloma Jeanjou.
Olivia Garcia, cum laude.
Alexandra Guitino.
Morgan Kier.
Maria Gonçalves.
David Gilles.
Nolwenn Grignou.
Inès Gonem.
Stéphanie Hensler.
Hélène Az.
Fanny Jardinier.
Andrew Hummel.
Grace Nifsey Kumalaude.
Kia Kevin Khalili.
Justine Lager Kumalaude.
Sinam Kukugnane.
Leila Lemoal.
Eliam Lavison.
Taseo L'Enfant Kumalaude.
Luxane Lefleur.
Elena Lovera.
Chrisla Suzanne Sarah Petty-Birkin.
Tiffen Mittelman Kumalaude.
Anastasia Prabak.
Mar Muñoz Calvo.
Sana Zadi.
Bianca Pastina Kumalaude. Lisa Filippo.
José Libra.
Louise Poissel.
Antonia Lucek.
Annabelle Renaud-Lebrun. Malo
Tiffany
Rivaillant.
Mitlam.
Marie Sec.
Tiffany Moscou.
Pia Sieber Kumalaude.
Lequel? Maquise Nance.
Emma Thomas. Sofiane Toubal.
Joséphine Priestley.
Agathe Trouillet.
Maya Kelvingnek.
Lisa van der Sluis.
Cassie Rickler.
Emma Véro.
Anaëlle Rouault. Julia Seymour.
Gaël Walsh.
Karina Semre-Cabo.
Evelyn Whitney.
Anassa Suaber.
Yunshu Di.
Agnès Toxenson. Anastasia Trapalka. Anastasia Trapalka. J'ai l'impression que j'ai déjà fait.
Agnès.
On a déjà fait. Oui. Agnès Trostenson. Anastasia Trapalka. Hello Urium. Louisa Wiesel. Ali Vantal. Caroline Waldoke. Gail Wesh. Louisa Wessel. Luciane Lefebvre. Non. Sanaya Ziati. Catherine Saniti. Lisalotte Widham.
And now, finally, we call those students who finished in the top 2% of their class and who graduate with the distinction of summa cum laude. Rebecca Basso. Caterina Saniti. And Luisa Uchakovsky.
So congratulations to the graduates of the Masters in Human Rights and Humanitarian Action. Thank you to the platform party. You can retake your seats. And we're going to have a short video of PSIA, which will last about 3 minutes, just for those, perhaps most of the families and visitors, to see what your sons and daughters have been up to this year. So a little video about PSIA.
I actually took a summer course at PSIA between my 3rd and 4th year, which really drew me to coming here for my master's degree. I was trying to trial run it, and what really attracted me, the caliber of faculty that existed. It's unbelievable, the amount of knowledge that they have and the skills that they have in educating us. And as well, one thing that I later on found out that I feel like is a great strength of the school was the mix of sort of academic faculty and more real-life practitioners. So teaching staff that are currently on the field doing the work that they're teaching gives us a really good insight of how things are on the ground as opposed to how they ought to be from an academic standpoint.
On a whim, I signed up to be a speaker on a panel of the Multilateral New World Order during the Youth and Leaders Summit, and I had the absolute honor of speaking alongside prominent world leaders, including former directors of the UN General Assembly and an HRH from Saudi Arabia. Interacting with world leaders, especially as a part of this new generation, means that your voice counts just as much as anyone else's, and it's your responsibility to leverage it.
Last year, during my 3rd semester, I had the opportunity to intern within the Strategic Planning and Monitoring Unit at the Executive Office of the Secretary General in New York. So it was really exciting experience at the very heart of the UN system, dealing with cutting-edge topics like AI governance, UN 2.0, sustainable development, and peace and security, and so on. Entering the building and working alongside senior UN officials can be frightening, but they also gave me the motivation and that challenged me daily to understand how I could possibly actually meaningfully contribute to my team and to think strategically also in terms of long-term planning. So it gave me the opportunity to actually test myself in such a high-level, high-pressure environment, which is something I will keep with me for the rest of my life, I think.
My final advice to graduates, of course, is do enjoy the moment. But very quickly, and you won't be able to prevent this, continue learning from others, continue understanding, forging your opinions, acting, engaging. That is what is expected from you and what you expect from society. Hopefully now you are for the most equipped to continue in that journey and to succeed.
Voilà. We hope you enjoyed that video. I hope you recognize some of the familiar faces in it as well. We now move to our second batch of graduates, those from the Masters in International Security. So let me welcome to the stage the platform party for this one, the 2 academic advisors, Annie Jaffrelon and Daniel Rodriguez, and Chiara Rufa, Professor of International Relations, with, of course, Arantxa Gonzalez, who's already here.
Parma Abbas.
Tula Abitbol.
Yasmina Abu Aka.
Alejandra Aguilar Vasquez.
Joel Ali Sheikh Ali.
Nina Alberti.
Gianluca Amato.
Ariane Arnaud.
Nikita Artamonov.
Alix Avezou.
Leon Axe.
Maria Azerad.
Élise Bachelry.
Ariana Baronchi.
Mae Bor.
Océane Beck.
Cyrine Ben Rejeb.
Béchar Ben Moumen.
Clarissa Bernabé.
Catherine Boudreau.
Maëva Blecher.
Maëlle Bouvier.
Maïtena Bouloumier.
Alessandro Cayaniello.
Roman Brantom.
Paloma Cardayac Rodriguez.
Éléonore Carré.
Marenda Chang.
Jeanne Chassereau.
Alexander Chouan.
Jarry Chauvet.
Stella Chekakanias.
Venkata Shimalamari.
Mathilde Curie.
Pauline Coué.
Akancha Das.
Oscar Dahl.
Olivia de Godemar.
Fares Davion.
Maëlle Delamarre.
Fene de Kroon.
Thomas Delorme.
Naomi Delofont.
Aminatou Diallo.
Victor Deven.
Francesca Eli Kumalaude.
Anna Falorni, cum laude.
Francisco Ferreira Kumalaude.
Maximilian Feske, cum laude.
Lydia Field.
Lia Foski.
Inès Fresquet.
Anaël Garnier.
Anthony Gemin.
Soline Germont.
Grace Gonzalez.
Erin Grigorian.
Martinas Gruodis.
Lina Guénon.
Luca Guglielminotti.
Martin Vot.
Antoine Allais.
Alfred Elskog.
Samuel Hodman.
Paterapor Jansson.
Victor Jardin.
Gabriel Yazaite.
Giline Jean.
Atarva Kadam.
Ifan Kai.
Raël Kelus.
Jade Kichou.
Julius Kort.
Elene Kobachidze Kumalaude.
Clémentine Kratz.
Alexandra Kovalchikova Kumalaude.
Barbara Kuza-Tarkovska.
Gabriel Kuk.
Lina Landgren.
Antoine Labéry, cum laude.
Marie Le Lévrier.
Sarah Lawrence.
Annie Leponiemi.
Yi Terk Lee.
Samuel Lett.
Léa Leroy.
Manon Maillard.
Iris Madeline.
Mathilde Minakova.
Piotr Malashinki, cum laude.
Jenny Ngoy.
Sophie Marushka Minikoni.
Sophia O'Brien.
Tilda Nilsson Gig.
Baptiste Ouvrier.
Rebecca Olmos del Canto.
Clara Piscopo.
Amadei Pétan.
Cyril Prince.
Johanna Maria Politi.
Jade Ricoire.
Philippe Rena.
Stavros Romios.
Colline Rochette.
Luca Saibene.
Ingrid Roux.
Niklas Seidlitz.
Liliane Schraps, cum laude.
Ria Shah.
Tia Sewell.
Madhur Sharma.
Simon Sharkey Hermosa.
Ru Tung Son.
Sanjay Sudarsan.
Giulia Tombelli.
Chloé Tito.
Daniela Tseki Muzinga.
Marie-Lise Tussaud.
Ruben Toiner Hoffman, cum laude.
Catherine Tubbs, cum laude.
Yves Van Balen.
Sofia Valiente Snezina.
Louise Van der Bruggen.
Clarisse Vandenbosch.
Evgenia Velkova.
Famke Vandenmer, cum laude.
Sarah Venen.
Scott Venezia.
Aparna Vinod Pillai.
Jade Vincent.
Johanna Velk.
Moshtaba Valizade. Joafan Xu.
And now we are going to call the students who finished at the top 2% of their cohort in the master. So congratulations to you. And you are summa cum laude. So we'll start with Daniel Sherepinski. Ariana Perlstein. Faridodin Peste. Salomé Petit. Angélica Rodríguez Peña. Paula Schaffer.
So congratulations once again to the graduates of the Masters in International Security. Thank you to Annie and Chiara who already sat down, so thank you for your help. And to Arantxa and to Danielle, you can please take your seats because there's a short pause here while we're going to hear from our students. So I'd now like to, thank you, Annie. I'd now like to introduce two graduates to speak on behalf of the PSIA class of 2025, Angelica Rodriguez and Matteo Gabuti. Angelica is a graduate, as you may have just seen, summa cum laude of the Master in International Security program, with experience spanning from the General Consulate of Spain to political Europe. Her journey has been driven by her deep conviction that understanding the world is the first step to making it more just, more secure, and more humane. Matteo is a graduate. He'll come up shortly for the Masters in International Governance Diplôme, who is also summa cum laude. Don't worry, he already knows. He's assisted in the writing of the most recent report of the UN Special Rapporteur on extreme poverty and human rights, and he's a proud member of the coordinators team at Sciences Po Refugee Help. Welcome to the stage, Angelica and Matteo.
It's a lot of humans. Okay. Well, first of all, class of 2025, congratulations. You made it. We made it. It's over. So Matteo and I were both honored and a bit terrified, to be honest, to speak tonight. Our task was to reflect on our time here, challenges, hopes and opportunities that lie ahead. And when I started thinking about the challenges part, the one thing that my mind kept coming back to was a little trip I made a while ago that I want to tell you about. So as some of you may know by now, I'm Venezuelan. Don't be fooled by the looks of it. I was born in Caracas. And when you're born in Venezuela in the 21st century, chances are you won't be staying there for a long time. Now, I'm not gonna get into that because today's a happy day, it's a day for celebration, but I will say, for the sake of the story, that Venezuela, like other parts of Latin America, has not exactly been the definition of stability, not really our strong point in previous decades, or in general, but previous decades, kind of a record. And some years are harder than others. And 2017 was one of those years. So 2017, a lot of unrest, resistance rather, a lot of additional uncertainty, the kind of uncertainty that would make most parents worry about the future of their children. We couldn't get to school, like literally, like physically we couldn't get to school. And so a complicated year. And so that summer of 2017, my parents and I had the opportunity to come to Spain, to visit for a couple of days, 2 weeks tops. Yeah, so it's 2025, yeah. So let's just say it's been kind of a long trip, not 2 weeks. So when your parents say it's gonna be a couple of days, ask to see the return ticket just in case. I'm just kidding. I love my parents, mama, papa, los amo. I don't know where you are, but I love you. Gracias. It's crazy. Even though I do love them. Even though they tricked me into moving, I love them. So suddenly, I found myself in a new life, in a new country, in a new everything, without saying goodbye, with no understanding of what was happening, of why it was happening, or of why the world was like this. And so you might be wondering when I'm telling you a story about 2017, what I should be talking about our time at Sciences Po, right? Well, right, but I'm not gonna talk about housing in Paris, because, well, you know about that, and today's a happy day, so I'm not gonna talk about housing in Paris. Or about, like, if you ever wanna get over your fear of rejection, apply for internships, you get over it real fast. The first rejection email is like, and by number 25, you're like, huh, okay, I don't care. Yeah, so partly I'm telling you this story because I don't wanna talk about that, but partly and mainly is because I would argue that that little trip I made, that is the story about my time at PSIA. Like, it's literally the same story. It's what has brought me here. It's my why. And in a way, it's just one version of the thousands of stories that are sitting in this room of people who at one point or another looked at the world and said, I don't understand. I'm gonna do something about it. Because that's what we're here, right? Like that drive, that restlessness, all through different paths, right? Some economics, diplomacy, security, development, but with that same goal though, understand in order to change. And as we know, the world that we live in and the world that we've studied is anything but simple, as Mateo will now tell you about.
Well, I'm Italian, but even I know that we live indeed in interesting times. And while often referred to as a bubble, Sciences Po cannot help but magnify what happens in the real world, rather than isolating our students thereof. The frenetic pace of these 2 years has matched or even amplified the rhythm of international news, so I found it impossible to disentangle our own PSIA experience from the events shaping the global context we live in. And how can it be so? With international affairs being the subject of study and PSIA students bringing the world under the same roof, and today even to the cinema. Yet, the world can be a bulky luggage to carry around at times. And although Disneyland is not far away, these 2 years have not exactly been a ride on It's a Small World. As Angelica said, we are here to understand the world and hopefully to do something about it. But I would lie were I to tell you that in these 2 years, I never felt overwhelmed. They never wished to be able to mindlessly focus just on the color palette of a Canva presentation. They never questioned the usefulness of investing time and effort on something tomorrow's news will belittle or contradict. In 2 words, they never asked myself, why bother? Why bother studying diplomacy in a vision jungle where the weak suffer what they must and the powerful will let you know in all caps on social media? Why bother advocating for climate action while even paying lip service to environmental causes has fallen out of fashion? Why bother championing human rights against the deafening silence of a genocide raging with impunity? Well, for once, because tackling apparently unsurmountable challenges is PSIA's bread and butter. Because PSIA is the place where complexity is welcomed rather than dodged, diversity is cherished rather than flattened out, and dialogue is prioritized rather than silenced. It is a porous sandbox that lets the world in while providing us with the tools and opportunity to play with it. It is the choir where one can at once find comfort and strength in being in tune with like-minded hearts and minds and discover their own voice in the face of diverging opinions and unique perspectives. And for all this, I wish to thank our teachers, advisors, and deans, the watchmen standing by us along the way, the authorities bestowing answers, or even better, deeper questions, the mentors pushing us towards higher standards with their own example. I wish to thank the school staff who ensured we had a second home here in Paris, where we could fight for a free seat in the library, and to thank all of you, fellow PSIA students, the true richness of this school, which has the undisputed merit to attract and train cohorts as brilliant, competent, and diverse as the one graduating this very day. You have been what really challenged, shaped, and inspired me throughout these 2 years. I value the entrepreneurship of those having a busier agenda than a UN Secretary General. I value the charm of those who have traveled the world and are able to share it. The charisma of certain speakers among you that would have done a much better job than myself here on stage. And the courage of those standing for what they believe in, even against a literal wall of shields. But as the quiet kid in the classroom, let me emphasize also the unsolicited kindness beneath the unspoken competition, the deep-rooted devotion to details, the prowess of some of the best students I've ever shared a class with, and the sincere friendship blossoming in the airy garden of networking. Having said that, for all the talent in this venue, the world outside may not be thrilled to welcome a young cohort armed with good intentions. Yet the PSIA diploma is not merely a passe-partout to land a job, but it comes with a tacit responsibility to be leaders. Not necessarily heads of state, secretary generals, or CEOs, but to make good use of the capabilities we have trained in these 2 years. Not just to fill a gap in the market, but to carve out our own space, whence to contribute to shaping the future according to our uncompromisable values. And I don't wish to indulge here with wishful thinking, but rather to urge us all to renounce the sterile cynicism that opts not to bother, that prefers to be right with a disillusioned toldia at the cost of betting against humanity and betting against oneself. Being leaders entails accepting the challenge of the unknown, taking a leap in the dark and steering new paths towards ends we may not even see. This, I believe, is the responsibility we are called for today. And in any case, I wouldn't bet against any of you PSIA students.
Now, there are countless ways in which we could finish this off, but I would propose we focus on three. 3 words, 3 of my favorite words, to remember this day by and to use as a kind of compass for whatever comes ahead. The first one is grateful. And by this, I don't mean saying thank you, that's part of it, but being truly grateful entails movement, action. It entails putting what you are and what you have and everything that you've received at the service of others. Because everything that we've learned here, if we don't put it at the service of something bigger than ourselves, it's useless. It is of no use. So the first thing is saying thank you, and then how can I serve? That's the first, grateful. 2, attentive. Now this one's trickier, but here's what I mean. If you're here today, it's partly because you've paid attention. So it's partly because you've listened to that voice that has shown you the way and that has reminded you that your path and your story is unique to you. You are unique. You have a unique vocation, a unique calling, a unique role to play, and in order to keep discovering that, you have to listen. You have to be attentive and ask and search and follow what makes you feel alive, what lights you up. That's where it is. So this one's very important nowadays. We know that. This means eyes open, heads up, no AirPods, no AirPods. Sometimes AirPods, not all the time. I'm the first one here, okay? So this one's important, attentive. And finally, courageous. Now, if something is clear now is that whatever comes next won't be easy. We will want to give up. We will be scared. And I'm not gonna tell you, don't be scared, because that's kind of dumb. It's kind of stupid advice. The trick here is, do it scared. Do it scared. Do it trembling if you have to. That means it's important. That's what being courageous is. So, you know that old quote, it's not about the destination, it's about the journey? It's a good quote, I like that quote. But I recently heard a version of that I like even more, kind of a mentor of mine. He said, the whole point of the story is not what happens in the story. The whole point is who you become in the process of that story. So the whole point of the story is not what happens in the story, it's who you become in the process of that story. So it's not about going through life like going through a checklist, you know, master's check, and then job check, and then family check. No, because that's not what life is. And if you go through life like you're going through a checklist, we'll miss the point. The point is who you become, who you help others become. And it's in becoming who you're called to be that you'll transform, just as a byproduct, the world around you. And the world's not something, you know, far away, you know, the world. No, the world starts with the person sitting next to you. That's the world. It's small, it's concrete, it's near. So, in short, let this day be a reminder of not of what you have done, but of who you are becoming. And in that, let us remember to be grateful by turning knowledge into action, to be attentive by listening to our own unique calling, and to be courageous, to do it scared. So, the world needs that. The world needs us. And for those of you who believe, God needs us. We need to show up. So go forward, be brave, be kind, be present, and you know, try to have some fun while you're at it. It's important to have fun. The world needs that too. So, class of 2025, congratulations. Thank you very much. God bless you.
Hey, bravo. Let's hear it again for Angelica and Matteo. So now we move to the third group of students that we're going to present, starting with the Masters in International Governance and Diplomacy. So let me call to the stage the two academic advisors, Mimi Mount Trenton, Ting-Yu Lee, and Professor of International Relations, Frederica Mel, who will be on one side and Arantxa Gonzalez on the other. So thank you.
Victor Astran.
Hajar Aboulara.
Amina Ahmed.
Anastasia Amelicia.
Maria Pia Amorin.
Annika Or.
Sun Young Bai.
Clara Baldus.
Anton Beck, cum laude.
Lazaro Julien Beltran Vezes.
Taha Ben Rahuma.
Benedette Banzoni, cum laude.
Vinicius Benares da Silva Schaffer Paul.
Ambre Bianchi.
Ambre Biegiad.
Birta Jalouf.
Caroline Blackburn.
Jeanne Bloch Roudot.
Adelina Maria Bocancia.
Vefa Boruvali.
Adèle Boussier.
Nina Bradel.
Severin Brenek.
Noah Brial.
Manuel Campos Lago. Congratulations.
Jem Fellar.
Anna Louisa Chartier.
Chen Yiheng.
Shanley Clément.
Matt Conte Allemagne.
Juliette Coustal.
Sofia da Silva Unch.
Salsabil Dalal. Cum laude. Oh, no, sorry. Sorry.
Chiara da Pulti. Cum laude.
Thibaut de Gia. Cum laude.
Malia Victoria de la Punche Alves.
Stavrula Anastasia Delipetru.
Maria Fernanda del Scuvela.
Laura Dondi.
Lina Farik.
Nana El Khoury.
Alexandria Ferroni.
Celia Ferra.
Odyssey Gabon.
Marina Fonseca Carinero de Castro.
Gao Xingjian.
Yasmin Gadi Alami.
Eleanor George.
Laia Garcia y Raventos.
Anna Jaberitz. Cum laude.
Greta Giringeli.
Marcos Gonzalez Civero.
William Goldiamond.
Young Creek.
Rachel Granet.
Sergio Julien.
Pietro Guadalupe.
Omar Hassani.
Alexandra Guy.
Joan Hobo.
Florian Hadecker.
Anna Maria Yanku.
Julia Honegger.
Samantha Johnson.
Fabien Johansen.
Zoe Kapuru. Cum laude.
Louis Kagera.
Jordan Kozlowski. Cum laude.
Sarah Kirby.
Victor Labasti.
Malgorzata Kruzowska.
Marine Emmanuel Lamour.
Abigail Lebrec.
Gabriel Leva.
Ying Ting Lao.
Juan Antonio Lopez Muelas.
Julia Lemon.
Ava Luque.
Noé Lom.
Giacome Maragani.
Cécile Lauriade. Cum laude.
Clément Maslin. Cum laude.
Alexis Mack.
Roberta Milo.
Lulu Marshall.
Cospa Misra.
Ida Michel.
Louise Montaron.
Giulietta Michel.
Willem Mouka.
Inès Monio.
Momo Nakakita.
Erica Morera.
Eva Napré. Cum laude.
Shashiru Muraki.
Luc Laura. Cum laude.
Ashray Nambia.
Clara Barry.
Clara Nutzner.
Susanna Pleda Ojola.
Math Bader.
Violaine Kiwi.
Paulina Picou.
Capucine Hattier.
Laure Priso.
Jeanne Roudelac. Cum laude.
Julia Ronda.
Tobias Soar.
Capucine Robia.
Ona Christina Koutalu.
Sofia Safranova.
Oni Sukulali. Cum laude.
Louisa Sosmikat.
Song Zitian.
Saeed Zain Shah.
Andrea Savoleni.
Lisa Manon Maya Smihi.
Cristelani Trifanos. Cum laude.
Ariana Spreafico. Cum laude.
Meili Vergnol.
Catherine Maria Timonen.
Sala Vencinanza.
Paul Vaughan.
Yelzavita Vinik.
Gilles Véron.
Antonia Vombon Falloir.
Léa Vig.
Matthias Webster. Cum laude.
Serena Vitalik.
Estelle Wilzeski.
Jing Swan Wang.
Lori Wonsny.
Matthias Wiersberger.
Anna Zonolo. Cum laude.
Joseph Willis.
Zhang Boyi.
Yu Fei Yang. Angèle Zeri. Judy Ju. Now we call upon those students who finish with the top 2% of the graduating class, and graduate with summa cum laude distinction, Matteo Gabuti. Marie Goss. Joshua Weinert.
So congratulations once again to the graduates of the Masters of Governance and Diplomacy. We move immediately on to the next Masters of International Development, but we need a little change in our platform party. So let me say thank you to Mimi and to Tingyu and to Frédéric. Thank you very much. And let me call to the stage the academic advisor for the Master in International Development, Thibaut Jolin. On the other side, we have Véronique Jaffro, who's our Career Education and Advice Manager. Voilà. And joining Arantxa to award these is someone you've heard of, but this is the real one. His name's James Bond, and he's a teacher in the Masters of International Development, drawing upon 25 years plus experience at the World Bank Group. We're delighted to have him with us. This is the last year he teaches for us, so he's kindly done us the honor of joining us today. So thank you very much, James.
Marie Ado-Samake.
Fatima Absa Ba.
Jacob Achstein.
Cassiope Bélanger.
Serena Lucia Bassi. Cum laude.
Loré Brown.
Noémie Benfella.
Roy Bouy.
Mélanie Brun.
Giancarlo Castro.
Daniela Caroni.
Aoran Chen.
Ranim Shechomar.
Emma Luisa Cimino.
Yushu Shen.
Hélène Dalforce.
Mara Chiu. Cum laude.
Amadou Diallo.
Cynthia Desmet-Villa.
Ella Diner.
Maria Dini.
Inas El Haïdi.
Georgie Dobrev.
Alfonso Figueroa Saldana cum laude.
Viola Fasano cum laude.
Maria Fossas cum laude.
Kitty Fodor.
Lily Gabizon.
Ung Lei Fu.
Giovanna Gruber.
Nicolas Gandenpine.
Andrés Guterres.
Farid Gay.
Hu Wang.
Athénaïs Hagré.
Chin Chen Yang.
Shamsi Jashari.
Alana Johnson.
Elena Josheim.
Agathe Leblois.
Yo Kiao Kong.
Chen Chi Lee.
Corentin Lepoutre.
Alissa Mer.
Ophélie Wangamat.
Tim Muller.
Julia Angela Mati.
Victoria Nagy.
Natalia Mineo.
Michele Palazzo.
Julia Monarca.
Charlotte Poirot.
Ada Ozenchi.
Shekuri Ramazanova.
Tatiana Perez.
Laura Sanchez Castillo.
Bibiana Pugliese.
Anna Södergren, cum laude.
Romana Ramzan.
Jaehoon Song.
Elliot Simonet.
Teodora Stojilkovic.
Katarina Sonalio Rubo.
Huong Tan.
Malou Sterling. Cum laude.
Fatoumata Traoré.
Je vous ai glissé un petit. Kenza Tazi.
Domenica Villacrez.
Gaia Trincone.
Lola Waldman.
Luna Vital Durand.
Kevin Wong.
Evangela Wishman.
Yaru Yang.
Kotone Yamamoto.
Brenda Alvarez Santa Barbara.
Now we call this student who finish in the top 2% of their class and who graduate with the distinction of summa cum laude. Oscar Holtman. And Linus Mel.
So congratulations to all of the graduates of the Masters of International Development. We're actually going to carry on with one more group combined, the Masters in Environmental Policy. So I'm going to thank Thibaut and Véronique. A big hand to James, who's back in his seat down below. Thank you very much. And let me call to the stage the current academic advisor for Masters in Environmental Policy, Ariad Ghanem, the previous academic advisor for the Masters in Environmental Policy, Céline Conta, and the scientific advisor, Shiv Somshwar. Voilà. Thank you.
Anna Abraham.
Jade Alves Gabiron.
Emma Anderson.
Titouan André.
Selma Baradat.
Sophia Becker.
Mathilde Bernard.
Anna Bernasconi.
Marion Bigoin.
Lisa Bito.
Muriel Buchheim, cum laude.
Emilia Cabrera.
Lucille Chambon.
Léa Charbonneau.
Xianming Shen.
Paul Clément.
Lorenza Contin.
Clément Dalisson.
Aliette de Cacré.
Suzanne de Jong, cum laude.
Ana Diaz Vidal, cum laude.
Emma Dominguez.
McCarthy Dressman.
Léa Farsa.
Verena Fail.
Colline Fesnin.
Abigail Fitzgibbon.
Yasmine Fourari.
Manon Funke.
Eduardo Gaggi.
Benjamin Garcia.
Alessia Gastaldi.
Mariana Gitz.
Océane Guy.
Lena Heidenreich.
Liliana Hertling.
Yuntian Jia.
Amalia Junko.
Anna-Sophie Kloppe, cum laude.
Domen Kotsan.
Lucie Lamourer.
Lou Lefort.
Juliana Leibold.
Jeske Lunstra.
Clara Luz. Cum laude.
Lucille Mabilé.
Florence Mabi.
Shaida Mahmoud.
Capucine Martin.
Clémence Martin.
Emily McIntosh.
Livia Morscher, cum laude.
Grace Newcomb.
May Ngo.
Isabelle Ott, cum laude. Congratulations.
Jimena Padilla Pineda.
Kessie Panaïs.
Takshama Pandi, cum laude.
Victoire Payet.
Thibaut Pelé.
Camille Perrigot.
Jonathan Proksch.
Victoire Provost.
Meyatia Ramondrai Vonona.
Inès Robin.
Théo Roucaute.
Jean Sabatier.
Julia Shaughnessy.
Marina Stamou.
Gaïa Talamini.
Ella Tescari, cum laude.
Emma Thuot.
Monica Velarde Miranda. Congrats, Monica.
Natalia Vankovic.
Alexandra Yanhue von Minden.
Chloé Vermersch.
Chihue Yuan.
Juliette Wanfat.
Hao Zhang.
Lucia Zarama Rojas.
And now we call those who finished in the top 2% of their class and who graduate with the distinction of summa cum laude. Anna Boyd. Sophie Hartwig.
So congratulations to the graduates of the Masters in Environmental Policy. I mentioned at the beginning that we have a number of dual degree programs, and in fact, one of them has a slightly different name than the program we just had. It's called the Master in Sciences et Politique de l'Environnement. We have this dual degree with the Sorbonne Université, and now we're going to present the graduates of this program. So no change in the platform party, and we'll start again.
Cyprien Diaban.
Éloin Dubourg.
Louis Fleurance.
Bastien Jebel.
Pauline Gérard.
Mathis Gilliot.
Baptiste Gonin.
Louis Poinat.
Camille Prieur.
Stéphanie Sitch.
Raphaël Weinstein.
Keep going. So congratulations to the graduates of the Masters de Sciences et Politique de l'Environnement. In fact, we're going to carry on with another group of master's programs. We have a slight delay in our guest of honor, so we're going to make use of the time and keep sending our graduates across the stage. So we're now going to move to the Master in International Economic Policy. So let me thank Shiv and Celine. Let me thank Ariad. And so, thank you. And so let me call to this stage the academic advisor for the program, Cecilia Baeza, the academic assistant, Tiziana Zanirata, and an economist and director of Présage, Professor Hélène Perivier. Welcome to the stage. There she is.
Maria Abreu Mendes.
César Almeida.
Shirag Bansal.
Maya Correrella.
Marcus Banksit.
Marta Delfino.
Victoire Couturier.
Paula Druschke, cum laude.
Léa Demut, cum laude.
Charlotte Ebner, cum laude.
Shubhangi Dutta.
Annie Fan.
Lucien Eneve.
Davide Franco.
Elise Flamba.
Zachary Hagen-Smith.
Apollinaire Gires.
Alam Awach.
Fred Hanmer.
Serena Indy da Costa.
Rumpei Hei, cum laude.
Sofia Cattari.
Ruhi Jha.
Joan Fiete Kolk.
Harriet Klepper, cum laude.
Chin Liu.
Lara Kulke.
Lidi Luni.
Cyril Lopez.
Kennedy Malvo.
Camilla Friebe Madsen.
Alessandro Matrone.
Andrés Martín Esteban.
Daria Miliakova.
Maxime Metz-Mariashvili.
William Mullins. Cum laude.
Rachele Moscardo.
Ismail Kotbi.
Gusta Nerija Paparauleiti.
Emma Schwenner. Cum laude.
Carlota Sanna.
Vidushi Singh.
Sidra.
Yannick Street Matter. Cum laude.
Maximilian Schrichbach.
Jinshi Yang.
Eric Stylianidis. Jimena Velayos. Riyong Zong. And now, we call the students who finish in the top 2% of the class and who graduate with the distinction of summa cum laude. Pietro Righi.
So congratulations again to the graduates of the Masters in International Economic Policy. I'm going to keep our two appellants here, but I'm going to thank Hélène for her services, and I'm going to call to the stage the next person, which is Giacomo Luciano. Let me say a word about Giacomo Luciano. First of all, the graduates in the International Energy Transition program will know him very, very well. He is not only the person who provides the core course, but he's been the scientific advisor to the program since its original thing. So Giacomo, who finished his last course with us earlier this year and stepped down as the scientific director, he's done us the great honor of accepting to come today and to receive the graduates from the International Energy Program. But let me take a minute just before we start this next master's to say just a thanks to some other members of the PSIA team who are here in the building but won't get a chance to come up on stage today, but many of you will know them. We have Elvedina Capel, we have Homer Surush, we have Valentina Sampaoli, we have Kelly Vargas, who's an honorary member of the PSIA team, and we have Giulia Nassetti, Sofia Lamarca, and a few members of the team who couldn't make it today, including Katarina, Natalie, Francesca, and Melissa. So thanks to all of them. And maybe I'll also take... And maybe I'll just take a minute to also acknowledge there are some of our faculty members upstairs as well. Peter Hurley, long-standing member. Thierry Watpin, a new person. And Lucia Hamner, who's not just a faculty member, but is a proud aunt of another PSIA graduate today. So thank you to all of them as well. We carry on now with the Master of International Energy Transition.
Félix Balaresque. Axel Blanadet. Adrien Buffard. Plume Chaumet. Yann Sipa. Jie Dai. Émile Daval. Damien Duvert. Sharif Fatureshi. Benjamin Figuerea. Michel Galper. Orange Gasset. Pietro Gioia. Victoria Grants. Taha Güngeher. Zoe Hermes, cum laude. Arina Chomtimski, cum laude. Alara Kokabas. Timothée Lauvergne. John Hao Ernest Lee. Yi Hong Liu. Lucas Malortigue. Quentin Minaldo. Nicolas Moignet. Adam Moncachi. Virgile Montambo. Léa Nassif. Aaron Orelowitz. Lucille Pollard, cum laude. Héloïse Houry. Valentin Ranke. Jingling Chu. Gabriele Romeo, cum laude. Pietro Rinaldi. Anna Saviano. Anna Rosenstiel.
Akon Siris.
Jamie Mastari.
Olivia Vallada.
Nessa Trombetta.
Clément Violo.
Alfred Willum. Doros Vulgaridis, cum laude. And now I call the student who finished in the top 2% of her class and who graduated with the distinction of summa cum laude, Petronella Brouwers.
So congratulations to the graduates of the Masters in International Energy Transitions. We'll now move to the last master program, the Master in Advanced Global Studies. So let me say thank you to Tiziana and to Cecilia. Let me invite to the stage Tingyu Li and Miriam Younes. Giacomo and Arantxa will stay in their places. And we will now present the graduates from the Masters in Advanced Global Studies.
Dani Araded.
Joseph Batamak.
Marine Belnico.
Enya Cowley.
Antoine de Jong.
Sally Farrington.
Victor Gacoin.
Elise Galloway.
Louisa Graham, cum laude.
Mary Claire Harvey.
Dolis Hales.
Abubakar Yangulbayev.
Gabriel Garmisch.
Yu Jong Kim.
Charlotte Lem.
Locking Low. Sorry, Candice.
Anna Lorash.
Frédéric Ledermüller, cum laude.
Amanda Linde.
Benjamin Luxley.
Lynette Jeju.
Apeksha Shelley.
James Simpson.
Roberta Vignaes.
And now, I'll call the student who finish in the top 2% of the max cohort and who graduate with the distinction of summa cum laude. Edward Ashcroft.
So congratulations to the graduates of the Masters in Advanced Global Studies. And just like that, we've actually had all the graduates come on stage and gone across. So congratulations to all the graduates of PSIA. But as you can imagine, we're not done yet. We still have a few tricks up our sleeves, a few surprises to be had. But let me thank our platform party, Miriam and Tingyu. Thank you very much. And I'm going to keep the dean with us because our dean is going to introduce our guest of honor. So, Arantxa.
Now, after all of this excitement, let me please introduce you the real star of the ceremony. That's our guest of honor. And our guest of honor this year is someone very special. She has a remarkable journey that encompasses a trail of accomplishments in the United Nations as the architect of the UN 2030 Sustainable Development Goals. Having served in her native Nigeria as Minister for the Environment, helping fight climate change and helping protect natural resources. She's been advisor to 4 presidents and a tireless advocate for increasing access to education and other social services, and now is in charge of ending extreme poverty in the world by 2030. She is the United Nations Deputy Secretary General Amina Mohammed. Now, in inviting Amina as a guest of honor, we want to pay tribute to the United Nations, to the thousands of men and women around the world risking their lives and giving their lives to protect the most destitute, to those providing humanitarian relief and compassion in a brutalized world, to those helping tackle climate change and building ethical rules for artificial intelligence, to those imparting international justice, and to those working to bring peace to a world with a growing set of conflicts. When in the name of realism, international rules are trampled, when force is abused, when inhumanity is normalized, the United Nations are there to remind us that it is in the hands of we, the people. So, give a big round of applause to Amina and through her to the United Nations, please.
Thank you, Arantxa Gonzalez, our Dean, and distinguished faculty members, ladies and gentlemen. Most importantly, the graduates. Hello, Paris. But let me begin by the most important word of all. Congratulations, congratulations, congratulations. You are now joining a long line of Sciences Po alumni who have shaped our world, including some of whom are doing it every day at the United Nations as they work in my office and also supporting the Secretary General. But let us take a moment, and I know you've done this before, but it's important here as a mother and a grandmother, to recognize your families, your friends, and the loved ones who have been with you every step of the way. We have students representing more than 120 nationalities here, and they come to see how the world works and how we can do so much better at it. It is the United Nations. That spirit of global curiosity, purpose that has also carried me through every chapter of my own journey, designing schools, hospitals, and public institutions in my home Nigeria, advising our presidents, yes, on poverty reduction, development policy. Sometimes they listened, sometimes they didn't. But supporting member states more especially in the lead to the process of the transforming our global aspirations of the Sustainable Development Goals. And now, and I'm going to say this for women, the longest serving Deputy Secretary General in the United Nations history. And I say that because I do believe, and I'm going to be the campaign manager for the first woman Secretary General to be by the end of next year. But this job is humbling. It is a privilege. It is one in supporting the Secretary General on some of the most complex situations that we have seen in the world. And I have to tell you, I walked in 2017 thinking the hardest job I had was to implement those goals that we had set in 2015. But up came COVID. And then COVID, as if we were finished with it, a war that we never expected in Europe, Ukraine, and Sudan, and perhaps the worst of all, where we have lost our moral compass in Gaza. And that. But as we see some hope for peace in the Middle East, so too we see hope for the two-state solution for Palestine. And I know that's hard. I know that's very hard. But today I would like to briefly reflect on some of the lessons that I've learned along my journey. The first is, and this is something that an old friend told me, Tajuddin, first, don't agonize, organize. We live in a world of hurt, pain, a world that is messy, complicated, and often overwhelming. And I know it might be easy to feel paralyzed by the scale and hopelessness of many of our challenges today. But don't be, because more than ever, those challenges are connected, and we can solve them by seeing the connections and coming together, addressing the root causes long forgotten, and sometimes by leveraging our history, remembering that we can learn from it. When I served as Nigeria's Minister of Environment, my job was never about the environment. When Lake Chad was drying up, it wasn't just an ecological crisis, it was a security crisis, but one also of exclusion, where we were to give birth to Boko Haram, the terrorist organization, and where we had 200 girls abducted at one time. When we faced population and urban sprawl and tensions that rose between farmers and herders, it wasn't just about water access, it was about food systems as our cities continued to grow. And when I met girls walking hours to fetch water, missing school every day, it wasn't about resources, it was about gender equality. We didn't work in silos, we built coalitions across sectors, civil society, young people, traditional leaders, the private sector, all in the search for real solutions. And we didn't agonize, we organized. And yes, there's plenty to agonize about today, especially when multilateralism is under attack and international cooperation is on the back foot. And it's not just about the funding cuts. It's about when countries say to you that the values that uphold the Charter are no longer relevant. When someone says to you that sustainable development is not a priority, or that in exclusion, 1.3 billion people who have disabilities don't matter and we should not see them. That's what the pushback is against. But we've seen what's possible when we find common ground and we forge ahead. Just look at the last 2 months at the United Nations. A landmark pandemic treaty approved at the World Health Organization. This time last year, it looked almost impossible, as though the world had no memory of COVID and the millions of lives it took. Major new projections of our oceans at the World Ocean Conference that just finished in Nice. And from Paris, I head to Seville, where the world is coming together to commit to better finance a sustainable development. And that too seemed impossible a few months ago, that we could reach consensus because we had so much pushback on the very right to financing a sustainable agenda. So when the problems seem larger than life, too tangled, too tough, again, don't organize. Don't agonize, organize and mobilize. And yeah, sometimes, you know, if I'm asked to organize in the UN, I have to remember that I'm the DSG and not an activist. But let's help to realize the change that we so urgently need. And remember all the time that you didn't fail for want of trying. People often do the math and they look ahead and say it's impossible to achieve the SDGs. Well, then you won't start. And who are you going to tell who cannot see tomorrow because they go hungry every night that there's no hope, that we can't reach the 2030 agenda? So you have to give it your best. And when you get to 2030, you can look back and say, these are the millions of lives that I made a difference in. I still got more millions to do, but these lives were saved and given hope. So don't fail for want of trying. Thank you. The second lesson is keep learning and keep looking to make impact. Graduation isn't the end of learning. In many ways, it's just the start of your lifelong journey. When I joined the UN, I was not steeped in the intricacies of international diplomacy, in fact, very far from a diplomat. But throughout my career, I've had to learn fast and to deliver even faster. Expectations are so high, and so will you. Even now, I'm learning every day about AI, geothermal energy, space debris, biotechnology, cybersecurity, and this afternoon, I spent a little time with my UNESCO colleagues and ambassadors, really learning of the importance of education, but in particular, teachers, and how they will move forward in this new era of technology and AI. You will face even more change, faster, and especially in the new era of super technologies. Regardless of the task that is put in front of you, get ahead of it. Learn more, do more. Just show your stuff and deliver. Performance opens doors. And yes, some of life is luck and privilege, but I can guarantee you the harder you work, the more you will become an essential commodity. And third, make hope your most powerful asset. The world is a cynical place, and international affairs is not for the faint of heart. Pope Francis once said about cynicism that the globalization of indifference was one of the worst things that could happen to humanity. So there will be setbacks and there will be critics. There will be many days when the problems seem too big and the politics too small, when anxieties grip you like a malaria fever. But just look around. War in Ukraine, a atrocities in Sudan, catastrophe in Gaza, climate chaos everywhere. But never forget that hope is not just a four-letter word. Hope is the courage to build where others are tearing down. Hope is a decision to get up one more time, to negotiate one more deal, even when the odds are against you. And I've sat with young girls who have survived the worst horrors of war and sexual violence. And in their eyes, I saw not just pain, but power. The power to heal, the power to lead, the power of hope to survive and to thrive. So hope is not the absence of fear. It is the refusal to be defined by it. So carry it with you, guard it fiercely, for you will have to use. But hope is not just a feeling, it is a force. Fourth, the fourth reflection I have is hold on to your moral compass. Your degree will open doors, no doubt about that. But integrity will tell you which ones are worth walking through. And in today's world, where the global moral compass is spinning, the clarity matters even more. We live in a world where military spending is soaring while development budgets shrink, where fossil fuel subsidies dwarf investments in climate action, where conflict and hardship has forced more people from their homes than any time since World War II. In this world, your role as change makers is not just to make the right deals. It is to draw the right lines. There will be pressure to stay silent. There will be moments when abandoning principles may seem an easier choice. But integrity matters most. As Deputy Secretary General, I've had to tell hard truths to many powerful people, to remind leaders of the many promises that they have made and the people that they made them to. And it's never easy to challenge power. But I think we have to remember, we don't serve power, we serve people. And if we truly serve people, and if we truly serve people, the litmus test will be how we use that superpower to stand for justice, to stand for people's right to a life with dignity, and to make the word solidarity mean something. And as we mark Beijing Plus 30, we cannot talk about a future and leave women and girls behind. Gender equality is not charity. It powers our agency, and it powers our right to be. And everyone wins when we leave no one behind. So let's be honest. We're not there yet, and so what would I say to the men here today? Don't stand in the way. Don't walk ahead. Don't walk ahead because you think you've got broader shoulders and more brawn. Walk with and stand with us. Speak up for us as the other half of society. We all know that no bird flies on one wing. I know you've heard enough speeches today, so let me finally say that my final reflection would be to invest time in what truly will sustain you. Your career will have highs and lows, plans will change, titles will come and go, but what will carry you through are the people who know you beyond your resume. Your friends, your families, your mentors, and your partners. Protect those bonds. Nurture them, because in the toughest moments of your lives, those relationships will remind you of who you are, why you started, and why you must keep going. So no matter how far you go or how fast, never lose sight of what and who matters to you most. Never lose faith, Learn to hand that burden to God, whichever faith you have. I do that all the time. I dump on God every other day. But graduates, let me just say that today you're not just stepping into the world, you're inheriting its unfinished business and its boundless possibilities. Don't ever regret or remember, just remember the possibilities far outweigh the challenges. We have never been more equipped as a humanity as we are today, so look for it. As I look out, I see the next generation of climate champions, human rights defenders, and world-class diplomats, and you'll have to be that for sure, because the distance between the diplomats that sit in our halls at the United Nations and the leaders at capitals is getting wider. We need a new diplomacy, and I see those diplomats here, and I'm filled not just with hope, but quite frankly excited by what you can bring to the table in this intergenerational transition. So whatever path you choose, walk it with courage, walk it with conviction. Congratulations, class of 2025. The world is waiting for you, and I, for one, can't wait to see what you're going to do with it. Thank you.
Amina Mohammed. Thank you so much. We're virtually at the end of the ceremony, but of course we won't end until we give the final word to your dean. But let me just, before we do that, first of all, thank all of you for your participation in this ceremony. It's gone very, very well, and it's actually gone very, very quickly. So we're going to finish a little bit early, which means it's time for the reminder that after the ceremony ends, you are all invited to the post-ceremony cocktail reception, which of course is taking place back at Sciences Po at 1 Saint Thomas, and the doors will open earlier than expected because you'll be there earlier than expected. So, voilà. So as I said, the final word, as always, lies with the Dean. Arantxa Gonzalez, it's yours.
Dear graduates, this ceremony is coming to an end. And I know that I'm standing between you and an incredible party that's awaiting tonight. But this is my last opportunity to give you a good send-off with a few thoughts in the hope that they can help you in the future. We are living, no doubt, in extraordinary times. We are living in between international orders. We know the one that we are gradually living without really knowing the one in which we are heading. Two fundamental elements of the system we are living are being eroded. The first one is that we're seeing norms, institutions, treaties, agreements weakened. We are seeing might instead of right. We are also seeing values being relegated in favor of interests. The coexistence between the two has always been complicated, but let's say that right now it's often a subordination of values for the benefit of interests. As conflicts multiply around the world and with power being today in more hands than ever before, we will have to find a new multilateral order for a more multipolar world. International affairs feel today a little bit like Bad Bunny's last album. Nadie sabe lo que va a pasar mañana. Meaning, no one knows what's going to happen tomorrow. But what I know is that you, graduates, are going to be the builders of that order. That will be your opportunity, and that will be your responsibility. I'm confident that PSIA has equipped you with the right toolbox. During your time at PSIA, you've learned to be resilient leaders, so far with little L, but with the ambition to soon become leaders with capital L. As Matteo has rightly told us, leadership does not necessarily mean occupying the Oval Office, speaking from the lectern of the UN, or ordering troops to march. Leadership is embodying values. I'm going to leave you with these 4 values that I hope you will embody as you build that order. Compassion, because we need to fight intolerance, to fight injustice, to defend human rights. We will not build a future on aggression, on discrimination, or on grievances. The second is coherence. Coherence between what you say and what you do, between your actions at home and your actions abroad. Coherence in policy making. And let me tell you, coherence is not just about writing tweets and posting videos on TikTok. Incoherent leaders, and we have a few of them today, are inefficient. More importantly, they build mistrust. Mistrust is the cancer of our democracies. Our democracies are fragile. They are under pressure. They are under pressure from polarization and extremism, from disinformation and interference. It's incumbent upon citizens to defend and uphold democratic rights and principles. The third C is commitment. Committed leaders is what we need. The fourth is courage. Courage is daring to succeed, but also dare to fail. Please do dare to fail. You will stumble, you will fail, you will fall, and through that, you will learn and grow. This is the compass, as Angelica has reminded us. This ceremony has come to a close. Let me take the opportunity to thank the entire PSIA team who have been with you throughout your stay with us. Let me, please. Let me also mention a few colleagues who have been instrumental in making the ceremony possible. Anne-Solène, Miriam, Kate, the entire communications and ceremony production team, and I know there are many, many little hands that make this possible. Thank you to them all, as well as the staff of the Grand Rex. So, class of 2025, let your voices resound, let your ideas unleash, and let your actions become the very embodiment of change. I know that Taylor Swift said, what did she say? That you're on your own, kids. But let me tell you, as much as you like Taylor Swift, she is not right. You may believe in PSIA, but you are now part of a much bigger alumni family. So wherever you will be, please keep in touch. Please be generous, helping those that will come after you, like those that came before you have been supporting you. on behalf of all of us at PSIA, on behalf of the faculty, of the academic team, of Central Support Services and technical teams that have made this event possible, on behalf of the academic advisors and assistants, on behalf of Mark and myself, all the best for the future. Fly very high. Thank you, and now to party.